Hey everybody, we have another Eagle's Nest video for you. This is Michael and I'm interviewing MarshmallowRuffian, who won with his Merukimon OTK slash Angels core deck. How are you doing today, Marshmallow?
I'm doing pretty okay. Thank you for asking.
Well, here we are again with another winner, and it seems like you're the only person I've ever seen play this deck. You invented it. Am I correct to assume that?
Kind of. Another YouTuber who goes by Vine Ryo, he made a list that was kind of similar. It had some of the similar, like the same bones, like the TS bottom end, and he was making a Black War Greymon OTK. I think it's the BT3 one, where you can Digiburst two of your sources to unsuspend and keep swinging, and that was like their gimmick. And they were very focused in on like all the angel stuff, etc., etc. And I was actually pretty impressed with the list. I thought it was bad, mind you, but I was impressed with it nonetheless. And so I took it and I ripped apart most of the deck, took out almost all of the angel stuff, leaving only Angemon and Shakomon, and just shoved the Meruki OTK on top of it instead. And it's been working out pretty good.
Yeah, you're very experienced with the Meruki OTK. You've been playing this since BT24 came out, maybe even in
Some of the
pre-testing
testing,
with
yeah.
proxies.
I mean, it's the deck I took the nationals, so
Yeah,
yeah, it is something I was very interested in for a while.
right. So let's walk through the deck. I mean, the egg, it's when you attack, you draw a card. You're not playing the egg that lets you unsuspend. Why did you switch to the draw
Correct.
egg?
Because with the inclusion of a extra level 5, and with what the deck can now do, getting so many bodies out, yeah, going into Minerva for even more bodies, and being able to spam multiple level 5s instead of just going into one single stack and trying to kill your opponent, the extra unsuspend is not really necessary anymore. There'll be times where I will digivolve into Meruki and only have like a single stack and an extra body, and I will be missing the extra unsuspend. But those times are very few and far between. I think the deck has kind of superseded what it needed there, and instead, I think the consistency of Tokomon is just so invaluable. You're getting two draws off of a single Tokomon in this deck, which is really, really nice.
Right, because after you DNA, you could do it all over again. Okay, so then
Yep.
let's look at the rookies. I know a lot of people don't like Agomamon. You're not playing any of the Abyss Sanctuary that wants to play out Blue Digimon specifically.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have moved off this Gamma, but you're back on it. So why play one?
It has a draw one, and it's a promo rookie, and that's it.
You you just want it's basically your fifth
It's a
Debbie
worse Debbie
Debbie.
Debbie,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
It's a worse Debbie Debbie, yeah.
And then Lunamon. Jamming, is
God,
that
she's so
relevant or
good.
is it the search?
The jam, I mean, the search is insane, right? I think all the searchers in TS have been really good, but Lunamon is a step above the rest of them because it gives you access to a actually good inheritable that you don't mind evoing in the back on top of, which is I think a very big deal for the deck because we play such a low count of rookies. Being able to evo into the Lunamon and then evo into a level 4 of any variety, even sometimes sacrificing the Blimpmon search effect, depending on what your hand looks like, is super okay because that means that you can now swing in with your level 4 without having to worry about dying in security. Something of note that this deck actually lacks is the protection from battle from most of its level 4s. Like, we don't play max Agio anymore, and we don't play max Garurumon anymore either, so most of our level 4s can just die.
Let's look at the level 4s that can just die. Greymon, he likes dying. He's
Yeah,
got an on deletion.
that's true.
Uh, okay, so I'm actually surprised you cut Agio down to only 2.
Yeah.
But is that to fit in this Greymon, or is it to fit in the Blimp? Where was
It's
the
actually to
design?
fit in the Angemon.
Oh, the Angemon. Okay, so let's talk about
Yeah.
the 4s. You can lead. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I can just talk about them as a whole, and we can get into the nitty gritty of what they each do. So in the original Maruki OTK, you played 11 to 13 level 4s
Hmm.
to facilitate your DNA combos. I'm sure you understand that a little bit based off of your experience with like Pyldramon and stuff, where you need like a large surplus to guarantee that you have one of each color and to go into your stuff. And for the level 5s that we are playing, we have Shakomon and we are playing Sylphimon.
Hmm.
Shaco requiring a yellow and then a blue or a black, and then Sylphie requiring a yellow and then a green or a red. And you need around an even split. I think in my original Meruki OTK list that I took to Nationals, I had one more yellow than I did the other colorations. But now that with Sylphie being less impactful for the deck than Shakomon is, I have it just even split, and we are playing 4 Angemon because it is the best yellow to be playing. We're playing 4 Blimp because Blimp is the best black to be playing. Angemon because it enables us to kill our opponent quicker with the Ascension effect, as you guys have, I'm assuming, seen with Angels, T-Bot, OTK, and whatnot. Blimpmon is an insane card that has just not been able to see play prior to Shakomon because there have been no good level 5s in TS aside from Sylphie, and this card cannot be go into Sylphie, really. You can make an argument for Locomon, but no one cares about Locomon. And then the other two, AGO is an insanely strong card. However, because of the way that the ratios work in the deck, I don't really want a surplus of yellow level 4s at this point. And also, the way the deck works is like TS decks, you can usually get like 1 or 2 AGO effects, or even in like Jupiter, you can get like more than just 2 AGO effects and not have to worry about it. But our deck has very little board presence and interactivity on our opponent's turn. Most of what we do is only on our turn, and then after that, we're done. And so doing 1 check to ourselves is already pretty detrimental. Doing 2 checks to ourselves, we have no way to defend, and we will just end up dying most of the time. So that's why he's only at 2.
Okay, I'm noticing that you have Greymon here that fits in the red and the black, but in the more conventional Sylphie DNA, you have Garuru, who filled in the green and the blue, the exact same side of the DNA that Greymon fits. So now it feels like you took out the Garuru for a Greymon, which is pretty funny because they're always in contrast with each other, being, you know, Greymon and Garuru and stuff like that. But why do you feel like Greymon is the better level 4? They're basically the same color requirement, so why is Greymon the better 4?
I honestly, I can't answer whether or not it's a better level 4 or not. There are 3 level 4s that I'm currently testing in the deck that I still haven't found which one is best, because they all have their own like very niche use case, but most of the time it does not matter. You just want one that is black or blue, and then is also green or red. So there are 3 level 4s that do that. It's Greymon, it's Garurumon, and it's the new Grizzlymon from BT25. And all 3 of these cards, not that one. It is the technically that one works as well, but it's 6K, so you can't play it off of Hiroko. This is the one that we are considering because it's green and black, so it fits the Shaco and the Sylphimon effect as well. It has blocker, it has a decent inherit, and it can be played off of the Angemon. The Greymon cannot be played off of Angemon, but it can be played off of Minerva. And it has a really good on deletion that gives us something to do on our opponent's turn, where like maybe your opponent is trying to OTK you with a Beelstar, and then they are forced to delete the Greymon, or they swing into you and you have blocker, so you can do it anyways, and you evolve their Beelstar into a Lady Devi, or their Beelstar X into something else, which is really, really nice. And then finally, Garuru has the upside of just being one of the few level 4s that can actually swing into your opponent's security and not worry about dying.
Yeah, but you already have jamming, so that becomes less important.
Correct. Yeah, I think that this slot,
I guess.
Yeah, this slot really does not matter at all. It's just, I think, down to personal preference at this point. As long as you fit the color requirements and can be played off of Hiroko, you are in a good spot.
Okay. Which level 5 do you like more? I mean, obviously you have more experience playing Sylphie. The deck had a very clean, strategic OTK deck with 4 Sylphies, but now that you're playing fewer of them and Shakomon is your new level 5, are you OTKing as much as you used to? Is OTK
more
as good as it used to be? And
better.
How frequently and consistently can you do it?
Really, really consistently.
Right.
The deck has just been improved. The problem with the deck prior is that we only played 4 level 5s. And that's because no other level 5 was actually good, or at least at the same level that Sylphie was. So your combo would never actually go off if it wasn't for seeing Sylphie. Now that we're able to play basically 2 more copies of a good level 5, the deck has seen such an increase in consistency. Yes, there will be times where you will, because like maybe you only have a Blimp and a yellow and you have a Sylphie in hand, you cannot go into your level 5, but that's a lot less likely than just not seeing Sylphie in the prior lists that we had up to this point.
Okay.
The Shaco is, I think, slightly better than Sylphie, because it gives us an extra body to OTK with. That's what I'm talking about with the unsuspend. Being able to go into Shaco and then Evo into Minerva, keep turn, get 2 extra bodies, and then go into another Shaco or go into the Sylphie, like I said, means that we just get like 2 extra checks for no reason. That the other deck, the original Meruki OTK line, could just not replicate without Bukamon.
Okay. I want to also ask about level 6s. So you used to play
Right.
Neptune, which made sense with the unsuspending. Egg made sense with security tack +1 to do your 2 checks and then unsuspend and do a 3rd check. It also controlled the board. You also sometimes played like maybe a Venus or a Minervamon that would play out into Digivolve. But now you're focused on just 2 level 6s. This Minervamon on her own, yes, it does have Alliance, but you're not unsuspending her and attacking multiple times. It's mostly, as I see you play, it's just for the playing out 2 Digimon. Okay, so bottom line becomes, why is playing out more Digimon better than doing more attacks and control with your level 6?
For a couple of reasons. One, being able to get out more level 5 DNA targets is really good because it just gives us those more attacks anyways, which is really nice. That's a cycle better. And then the next reason, which I think is one of the more impactful reasons, and I think one of the things that makes Shakomon better than Sylphie right now, is that trashing your opponent's security is so much better than checking it right now.
Okay.
Being able to trash more of your opponent's security means that you're much less likely to just either lose turn to like a beat break tamer or hit option card that loses you the game instantly off of it.
Yeah, so like obviously the 2 biggest decks right now are Beelstarmon and Glowing Dawn, and you have to worry about hitting their things in security. So if you're going to be doing 5 checks with a Merukimon or 5 checks with a Neptune, you're giving them everything they want, and then you might even not win the game that turn because they're going to steal turn with memory gain, or they're going to just delete your Digimon. But you're preventing that by using Shacomon's effect, that when you're going to trash both players' security. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, just making use of that is really good, and then she will get less checks, quote unquote, than the typical Meruki would have from the OTK, but she's still doing, like, if we're counting level 5 by itself, she's doing 1 less check, but she's giving us 2 more bodies, which then goes into a DNA that does 1 to 2 checks. So net positive wise, we're actually going plus a check with this Minervamon and the new lines available to us.
Are you ever building a really wide board and then DNA with Minerva, and then DNAing a second stack, and then going up into Meruki, keeping turn, and then you have like 5 or 6 Digimon out that all have rush because of Meruki? Does that happen?
Yes. Not only has that happened, I've done it twice in today's tournament. Once against a Beelstar player, where I made a board after outing theirs because they pushed up, I think, a little bit preemptively, and then they could not out my board cleanly. So they had to give me a lot of memory by playing out options. And with that excess memory, I was then able to create an exceptionally wide board. I think I went into double Minerva, kept turn, had 3 Angemon, 2 Minerva, had DNA twice using the Shaco, and then I also had 2 Lunamon on field at the same time. I could not kill my opponent that turn because I could not find the Meruki or the level 5, unfortunately. But they were not able to out the board, and they ended up scooping. We went to game 2 from that. Like, it is, I think it is super, super possible to not only keep turn with Meruki, but it's not needed. At the point that you go into Minerva, you have done 3 checks to your opponent, and you have 3 bodies on field if everything went properly.
Okay.
If you DNA again into a Shaco, that's check number 4. You swing with the Shaco, that's check number 5, and then you can just hard play a Meruki for 7, and that's check number 6 for a game.
Okay, this is more so just out of curiosity. Obviously, we're not going to make the change, but if, let's say, the Hammer Spark, the Gravity Crush, the Blinding Ray were not limited to 1, but you could only play 1 in your deck, which one would you play 3 or 4 of and drop the others?
We would play 4 Blinding Ray.
Blinding Ray. Okay, yeah, I guess that's the one where you just, if you think they can't kill you, there's basically no setback, because losing your own security doesn't matter if you're not losing the game. Whereas
in fact,
Crush,
it's actually a positive in this deck. There will be times where I will have to hard Evo shot for 3, and then tuck an Angemon, more blinding rays means that I will be able to blinding ray that Angemon I just played more consistently,
Yeah.
and get an extra body out.
It's got a very positive synergy with these types of cards. All right, and
Yep.
then in between theater, super good synergy with Dan and Cannon, just
Yep.
your memory boost. For Dan Cannon, so you can get your end of turn swing. Is there something I'm
Mhm.
missing, or is that basically the
That,
main point of the card?
that's I mean, it's the most important card in the deck for just like winning game
Mhm.
most of the time. So you really want to see one of them, which is why we're on 4. And because the deck just really wants consistency, we're also on 4 in between, and there's just a great synergy between those two cards, obviously. So yeah, just 4 and 4.
You're not running 4 and 2 or some ratio that prefers one over the other between Asuna and Hiroko.
Mm-hmm.
So why 3 and 3?
So Asuna is really interesting in this list because a lot of times we can reset our Angemon if our opponent like checked the insecurity, which is like really nice. Like a lot of our really impactful cards end up in trash uh, consistently, and then because we were also playing a lot of Demi Devi, being able to like trash cards when cycling and whatnot, it just feels good to be able to play from trash, which is nice. And then Hiroko is, I think, the best one for finding a key piece that you need. This deck needs like a surplus, but every once in a while you're like, dang, I really need this level 5, or I need a Meruki in hand, or etc. etc. And so Hiroko is the one where you play it out and you do like a deep search, whereas Asuna is the one where you're just like, I want a more impactful cards in hand right now. I need like a surplus.
Okay. And do you have any closing comments that you want to make about your deck or the tournament today?
Tournament today was fun. Always come down and play in Eagles Nest. Sorry, Monday and Thursdays. Great times overall. And then yeah, I mean, I want them to get rid of Gravity Crush, Blind to Gray, and Hammer Spark. But aside from that, we're chilling.
All right. Well,
Uh,
Marshmallow, of course, you have your own YouTube, and I'll be putting a link in the description where you have some gameplay footage of you playing this deck if people are more curious to see how you actually pilot it. Thanks a lot for playing at Eagles tonight. Congratulations on winning first with 19 other players. And thanks for the interview. Have a great rest of your night.
yeah, you as well, my friend.